All right. I'm not gonna do like a formal intro because I'm just gonna tack this onto the front of the podcast that I was already editing. So I was gonna say here again. We're here before. This is a time machine. The year is 2025. The date, August 28th. It is 15 minutes, 20 minutes after Micha Parsons was traded to the Green Bay Packers for a whole whopping, pulling it up, got too many tabs. I don't have it on this tab. Never mind. I'm going to introduce my co-host, and then someone else can tell me what the full trade was. As always, and as you'll hear for the next hour and a half after we finish here, Mike Regan, townalone.com, college football writer extraordinaire, and Bears fan and notable man sitting in a puddle of tears, Tyler Carcara.
I had to pull myself together just to make it on this podcast, Adam. And it was 2 firsts and Kenny Clark is the
2 firsts and Kenny Clark. Does anyone have the details on what the firsts are?
This year, next year, I want to say.
Okay. So 2 firsts and Kenny Clark. Yeah, that's Ian Rappaport tweeted that out. So we don't know the first, but that's good. As good a speculation as we're gonna get. So we'll start with it here. Mike, you're a Buffalo Bills fan. Would you have met that price to get Micha Parsons?
Run that by me one more time.
You busy there, bud? You want to delay?
No, I heard
Bills fan.
Bills fan. My internet took a dump, and then Micha Parsons.
Would you have met that price to get Micha Parsons?
Oh, in a fucking heartbeat, Bean. What are you doing? That was the price. Like
there's some
low.
level of this the Doncic trade where it feels like, was Jerry talking to 30 other franchises, or was he just talking to like Green Bay?
Are you comparing Rob Gutekunst? Goody? Are you comparing Goody to Rob Pelinka?
Yeah, and man, rough year for Dallas, eh? You lose Luka and Micha Parsons. Although the Micha one was at least telegraphed. Luka just got lost in the middle of the night.
I think Luka is more famous than Micha Parsons. As someone from Dallas, this is the other part of this. Is I'm from Dallas, even though I'm a Bears fan. Because Micah, like if Luka Doncic, this is my bar for how I know Luka Doncic is more famous than Micha Parsons. Micha Parsons and Luka Doncic were both walking down the F1 grid in Austin, and Lewis Hamilton knew who Luka was, but Lewis Hamilton did not know who Micha Parsons was. You can see the video of Mike Parsons being like, "What's up, bro? Can I get a photo? Dap you up?" And Lewis was like, "I don't know who this dude is. I know he."
Can we take a detour into F1 real quick? Who was it that they thought Paolo Banchero was?
Patrick Mahomes.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, what they were doing the grid walk, and then I'm here. Patrick Mahomes is here. Anyway, this one stings, guys. Hey, this one stings.
We'll get to you in a second here. I'm finishing up with the Bills aspect of this.
Because, oh yeah, go for it.
I'm trying to rope Mike into feeling bad about this trade. Mike, Ed Oliver and 2 firsts. Would you have done that for Micha Parsons?
Send it.
Ed Oliver and 2 firsts and a second.
Send it.
Yeah. See, like do these GMs just call one person and go, well, can't let this deal go away. Got to take the first one that I get offered.
I mean, this is Steven and his son, so
Steven and
Jerry and his son, Steven. Yeah.
I think we all like to imagine that these front offices are like that one scene in Moneyball where Billy swindles the Cleveland Indians out of Ricardo Rincon, but actually it's more like the Cleveland side of that, where it's like one guy being like, wait, San Francisco's not interested anymore? Well, I guess I can trade him. Whatever, it's fine. You know?
Yeah, we all like to think that NFL GMs are Kevin Costner in Draft Day,
yeah.
But they're really just the entire cast in Death of Stalin in the first 45 minutes of that movie.
Do you think Micha Parsons laying on the sideline table was that Jerry Jones's "no one went to his birthday party" moment?
Yeah, 100%. All right,
that movie rules, by the way.
So on to of course resident Bears fan Tyler Carcara. Tyler, first reaction when you heard this trade.
I'm happy. I'm happy for the Packers. Wisconsin, I'm glad they have one thing, you know? I'm glad they have one thing. You know, if you have to live in that
Back
state,
ended.
at least they have one thing, you know? At least they've got that. They've got this. And I'm happy for them, you know? I'm a fan of a team that's it's sort of a real city with like major stuff going on. And I'm happy that they can eat cheese and watch Micah Parsons. I'm happy. I'm really happy for them.
Part of the Tyler Cope is being like, yeah, my team's from a city that has things to do. Tyler lives in L.A. I don't know.
I don't even live
Maybe
in
we don't
Chicago
have anything
anymore.
left here anymore. How does this change the outlook for the NFC North going forward?
Boy, I mean, I never thought the Bears were going to win the NFC North, but I gotta say this bumps the Packers over the Vikings for me. Right?
And Lions in third place.
Yeah. Well, on the hot takes pod, I said Lions last, so I'm going to say Bears third, Lions last. I got to stick to that take.
We did NFC playoff predictions on this podcast coming up, and I had a Lions take that I almost just gave away, but I had a Lions take on there.
Is it too dramatic to like put them in first now? Like
Green Bay?
because I said what I said they were fighting for second or third, but Minnesota on the last podcast we did.
Yeah, I don't.
So I think this puts them first now.
How good does Jordan Love have to be now for them to just be one of the best teams in the NFL?
Probably has to throw less interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, does he?
But like also, so well, I'm looking at this roster here. Let's talk about this for a second. First off, they have an old offensive line that ends up injured all the time. Zach Tom, Rasheed Wallace, Elgin Jenkins, like those guys are hurt often. Their wide receiver core, they're relying on Matthew Golden, who pre-draft, everyone was like, wide receiver 2, Matthew Golden, the best wide receiver 2 on the board, maybe. And now they drafted him, they went, Matthew Golden is going to be the top receiver in this offense.
Yeah, that's just draft. That's just the way drafts go. Is you draft your guy and then you go, is this guy actually the best guy at this position in the league? You know, he made one catch in preseason. I think that's the case.
I will say this: I think they are in competition for best defense now.
They also have I think as someone who has to face them twice a year and cry about it frequently, I think there's a case that they have one of the 3 best coaches in the NFL.
Yeah, and the other 2 would be Kevin O'Connell and
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell, yeah.
No, I would say if I were to be drafting coaches right now, like you get to pick a coach, you know, on your expansion team or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I think for me it would be Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, right? Maybe Kevin O'Connell. I don't know.
Yeah, Liam Cohen I think has to be in the top 3. I was trying to see if I could wake up Mike. He's too busy.
Yeah.
Too busy.
I'm here. Sorry.
Where would Sean McDermott rank in a coach draft? 22?
Depends. You need someone to squib.
Is he the best worst? Is he the best bad coach in the NFL? Or is he the worst? He's the worst good coach, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say like, and I'm probably being nicer than some. I might be being meaner than most Bills fans, but I'd say 15 to 20.
Yeah, I think that would be meaner than most Bills fans.
Yeah.
So back to Micha Parsons instead of talking about Sean McDermott
right, yeah,
for the
sorry.
next 8 minutes. So
Sean McDermott, think of all the stuff Sean McDermott would have done with Micha Parsons. He would have lined him up at the edge.
Yeah. not an innovator, that Sean McDermott. So this defense now, the defensive line, Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, Devontae Wyatt, and Micha Parsons are your starting guys. Behind Parsons, you got Lucas Van Ness, Carl Brooks, Nazir Stackhouse, and Britton Cox Jr. That's if there wasn't a team named the New York Giants, that has a case to be the best defensive line in the NFC.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, the Eagles are pretty good.
Haven't heard of them. Mike, what were you saying?
Oh, I was saying a big thing is like Parsons is going to have like an extra second to work now because he has an actual secondary behind him.
Yeah. Xavier McKinney,
Trayvon Diggs, and some guys.
Trayvon Diggs.
Exactly.
Yeah. Trayvon Diggs giving up touchdowns.
Remember when
Xavier
he had
McKinney.
like 8 interceptions his rookie year, and everyone's
We
like, he's the
talked
best
about this.
cornerback ever.
We talk about this all the time. It was his second year, and he had like 4 pick sixes and 10 interceptions, something like that. And he
Yeah.
finished like 3rd for Defensive Player of the Year. And all of the internet film nerds were like, well, actually, he either gives up a touchdown or intercepts the ball every time. So he's really not that efficient.
There's another cornerback like that. What was his name? He was on the Ravens. What was that guy's name?
Marcus Humphreys?
Maybe?
Whatever.
Whatever.
Once again, we're getting
Josh
off
Norman.
topic.
Anyway.
Josh Norman was on the Ravens. He was on the Commanders. Thank you.
Well, he was on a team of a different name that we're not allowed to say.
Yeah, and he also got put into the dirt by Derrick Henry.
The text you sent made me physically sick. Now that my bit has ended about me being happy for them, it made me physically ill.
The physically ill really evokes the idea of you openly gagging as soon as you saw Micha Parsons was in your division.
My dad just sent me a vomit emoji. That's the only thing he sent me. He didn't send me anything else. Just a single, like the green face vomit emoji.
So, about 20 minutes before this trade, Tyler texted in the group chat, "What would you pay for Micha Parsons?"
Yeah.
And Tyler, I think you said that your ceiling was like 2 firsts and a second or something like that.
My ceiling was so we got burned by the Khalil Mack trade, so I was be more cautious than most people. I was 1 first and 2 seconds.
Okay, but now that he has been traded to in your division,
I would have traded 3 firsts for Micha
yeah,
Parsons
right. Yeah,
instead
now
of
that you have to
the
play
the
against him,
Packers.
the price has
Changed fast.
changed.
Yeah, if I saw this trade to like the Commanders, I would have been like, "Woof, that's tough. That's tough. You're a really old team. I don't love that for you guys." But since it's the Packers, I'm like, "Fuck it, trade Caleb for Micha Parsons. I don't care."
Caleb and Ben Johnson on the next flight out. So looking at the other side of this, Dallas now, their defensive line consists of Martian Nealand, Oza Odigizua, Solomon Thomas, and Dante Fowler Jr.
Yikes.
Anyone have any thoughts on this? Dante Fowler, good season last year in Washington. Not good enough to get signed for another contract.
I
but,
would
you know.
invest in Cowboys offense fantasy wise in the sense that they're going to have to score like in the same way that the Bengals just have to throw the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I would say CeeDee Lamb fantasy stock through the roof. Otherwise, not a
Jaden
good
Blue,
look.
obviously.
And Jaden Blue. I think Javonte Williams is actually the presumed starter there, but everyone seems really excited about Jaden Blue, so that's cool.
Staring right?
Yeah. This is a tough look for the Cowboys. This is a tough one for the Cowboys.
Think what they'll be able to do with those 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, probably drafting a guard.
Fuck them up.
Yeah. Like,
If
they used a first on Tyler Booker. Imagine how many right guards they can get with those 2 first-round picks. Another 2?
Well, they seem like they really need a defensive end, so maybe they could draft a pass rusher.
It's the mystery box. We could draft
It
a
could
pass
even-
rusher, and he could be
It could even be Mike Parsons.
yeah, he could even be as good as Micha Parsons.
Yeah, I don't like this. The Cowboys, I didn't think they were real contenders this year, but everyone always forgets how frisky they are when they're healthy and they have all their top guys. When Khalil Mack got traded to the Bears, it was like the Raiders were like, well, we're going to win 2 games this year, so why do we have Khalil Mack on our team? You know what I mean? So this is a tough look for the Cowboys, a team that is ostensibly trying to compete. Getting Kenny Clark back, I guess, is helpful this year. He's a solid rotational pass rusher, like he's fine. But yeah, I have pretty low expectations for the Cowboys this year. Cowboys 4th in the NFC East.
I don't know if you've heard of a little man named Jackson Dart, but he's going to try his damn heart out to make sure that
He's got Riz, and they have the best defensive line in the NFL. I think that's super underrated aspect of the year is that the Giants might have the best defense in the NFL just because. Let me put it this way. You go against the Cowboys don't have a great offensive line. Dak Prescott, there's going to be no run game against that Giants defensive line.
Jaden Blue.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Where'd
I forgot
Jaden Blue go to
Jaden
college,
Blue's-
Adam?
Blue Mountain State. That's why they call him Jaden Blue.
Yeah.
Incorrect.
Isn't there a college team whose mascot is the Blues?
That's St. Louis. They're a hockey team.
No, there's got to be. There's so many colleges. There's got to be one, right?
I'm pretty sure
There's the
Jane
Blue
Blue.
Devils.
He was that guy that stood up right at the back in the back of Boise State's backfield, right? That was him. That was Jaden Blue.
Yeah,
That was that other guy.
Hey, can I read you guys some Brian Schottenheimer quotes?
Yeah. Let it rip.
Brian
Should be
Schottenheimer says that Micha Parsons will need to have a ramp-up plan, but could be limited for a Week 1 workload. Schottenheimer said that he is, quote, confident Micha Parsons will be available for the September 4th season opener against the Eagles. Any instant reactions to that? You guys feel good about Schottenheimer now?
I never felt good about it. Mike, how do you feel about the NFC now? Like, are you as a Bills fan afraid of the Packers?
No, but my QB's built different.
Yeah. Yeah, you have the only QB who can juke Micha Parsons. So I guess
How
I'm
dare
impressed,
you?
but-
How dare you?
No,
Josh Allen,
Jaden
come on.
Daniels would lower his shoulder and try and run him over.
No, he's turned into dust.
I
Can I rant for 1 second?
yeah, go over, let it rip.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It was just because of the
It'd be
Brian,
really funny if you
Brian
just start going
Schottenheimer
off about
quotes.
weapons. Can I rant? So Zach
Really
Kramer's
enjoyed that
movie
movie.
weapons.
Just because you brought up Schottenheimer quotes, like on-air TV personalities and then like NFL people have been in denial for like 2 weeks, making comments about how like, well, I mean, they got to get the deal done. It's Micha Parsons. They're going to get the deal done. But then also every day there was another report that was like, yep, Jerry Jones and Micha Parsons team still aren't talking. So I was like, what do you mean they're going to get the deal done? No one's talking to each other. The deal's not happening. So that's my little rant.
By the way, we do need to bring up that as of now, Parsons has signed a brand new $136 million deal. I'm sorry, $188 million deal for 4 years.
It is the biggest contract ever given to a non-quarterback.
$62 million in the first year of the deal. That's as we call one Joel Embiid contract. $120 million total guaranteed, and a total 120 fully guaranteed. A total of up to 136 guaranteed. All records for non-quarterback.
Here's my cope. I keep going back to the last time this happened, which was the Khalil Mack Bears trade, right? Like that was the last time the best pass rusher in the NFL got traded, right? I guess not named Myles Garrett, not counting Myles Garrett, best pass rusher. That the reason like that ostensibly worked. Like the Bears traded 2 firsts and paid him like the biggest contract ever. And the first year he was there was the year they made the playoffs when there was the double doink and they won like 11, 12 games and they were frisky. That he was good. Mac was on the Bears for 3 years and he was very good. But the thing is it really fucked them in the long run because Trubisky wasn't the guy. So they were still not very good moving forward. Like, you know, they won 9 games the next year and Trubisky wasn't the guy. And all of a sudden they were just frisky enough to win like 8 games. And then they didn't have a first round pick for 2 years. So then the roster was awful 3 years later. Like my point is my cope is that I don't have faith in Jordan Love as a good quarterback. And if Jordan Love isn't the guy, they're kind of screwed. Because they also paid Jordan Love, so it's not even like they're gonna have no maneuverability under the cap moving forward, and no draft picks. So like this is the team for the next 3 years, basically, right? Like there's no major additions.
I'm pretty sure Malik Willis was undefeated as a starting quarterback last year for the Green Bay Packers. Okay.
Yeah, I know. That's why this upsets me is because Matt LaFleur is so much better than Matt Nagy. That something tells me that this is going to work out better for them because things usually do for the Packers.
Here is something I want to interject. First off, I want to know what you guys think about this in relation to other all-time greats getting traded in their prime. The Khalil Mack deal you were talking about, Mack got traded when he was 27 years old. He had won 1 Defensive Player of the Year, came in second in his first year in Chicago for Defensive Player of the Year. However, his highest total sack total came in somehow in 2023 when he had 17 sacks. Why does no one talk about this? On the Chargers, 32-year-old Khalil Mack had 17 sacks.
I mean, this happens all the time. Like this happened to Trey Hendrickson last year, where it's just like a weird, like positive regression. Because Robert Quinn holds the all-time sack record for the Bears in a year they won 3 games. The year they got the Bryce Young first overall pick that they traded, Robert Quinn had like 18 sacks, and he was like 34.
So, just
Remember Robert Quinn? Good
looking here real quick. Every year that Parsons has been in the league, he's at a higher sack total and a higher pressure rate than any of Khalil Mack's years. So,
Parsons is better than Mack. I will. Yeah, Parsons.
So
better.
I say that to couch that in this conversation. Is Micha Parsons the best player to ever get traded in the NFL? At the time he got traded.
I mean, Kenny Pickett was just traded last week, so
twice. He's been traded twice. Is Kenny Pickett the best player to ever get traded twice? Here are some other candidates. Randy Moss, traded twice as well.
When though?
So
did he get traded out of Minnesota? Okay,
got traded Minnesota to Oakland, then Oakland to New England.
In his prime, sure.
In his prime. Steve Young.
Okay.
Traded San Francisco.
But like the Moss thing is that he like totally had like checked out in both those instances. Like he wasn't playing like Randy Moss because he was just done. So
unlike Micha Parsons, who was very checked in. I completely forgot this happened. Brett Favre to Green Bay, traded from the Falcons after his first year.
Yeah, we didn't know he was good then, though.
No. So those are the 3. Would you put Micha Parsons ahead of all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would. I mean, except maybe Randy Moss, because then Randy Moss had the best wide receiver season maybe ever the following year.
True.
So he was in his prime. Marshall Faulk got traded to the Rams.
Yeah, that one's too far back for me.
Joe Montana to the Chiefs. I don't know. I got to be honest. Unlike the NBA and baseball, like I have no concept of the NFL before the year like 2005. I don't know why people just like don't talk about it really that much.
Yeah, it's always next year in the NFL. We don't look at the past. Past doesn't matter. In the past they didn't have 2 high shells, so who cared about them?
Are we like finally? Well, I had 2 questions I want to throw out there. One is, are we like finally another step closer to like getting player empowerment in a league that usually has none?
Forced to trade, that doesn't happen very often, and forced to trade is one of the best players. You don't get player empowerment in the NFL until you get rid of the franchise tag.
Yeah, it's the franchise tag that kills player empowerment because they're like, we can just keep you here forever if we want.
Yeah, look at Kirk Cousins on Washington. He was there 2 years after he wanted to be gone because they just kept franchise tagging him. What is he supposed to do about it? Mike, your other question?
Oh, are you pissed if you're TJ Watt because you just signed and now Parsons is making $6 million more a year than you 2 months later, 3 months later?
That's just the way it works, right?
It is. It's just funny.
Yeah. And it's why every time that a team like the Cowboys or Bengals does this shit where they hold out forever, it's like just costing you money. You're just gonna pay him $6 million more than the guy that got paid before him.
Well, the Steelers paid Watt, and they were like, "All right, we're gonna make you the highest paid. You're gonna make $1 million more a year than Myles Garrett." But the Packers came in, and they were like, "Yeah, Parsons, you're far and away the best. Here's $6 million more than that last guy."
Think about it. That amount, that $6 million, that's Ivan Provorov's yearly amount of money, and we put him on the worst contracts. So we'll go through here. We'll close out the segment because we're almost at 30 minutes, and I'm tacking this on the front of an hour and a half pod. Tyler, your final word on the matter here. Give me like an emotional and an analytical thought on this trade.
My analytical thought is actually this is the Bill Simmons like do you trade the farm unless you know it makes you a legitimate contender thing, where this was my question earlier where I was like, as a Bills fan, are you afraid of the Packers now? And he was like, no. Like this vaults the Packers probably to the top of the NFC North, but to be the 4th best team in the NFL, the 5th best team in the NFL? Like one player, this isn't like a one player swing. This is like if the Eagles had traded for Micha Parsons, I would have been like, God damn it. Okay. It's obviously, yeah, they're the best team ever or whatever. The Bills would have been like, great, perfect. They're the Super Bowl favorites now. So like, is trading all this stuff worth an NFC championship game loss? You know?
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. Right. But, my emotional thought is, why can't I have anything nice? Why can't Why can't I have anything nice? You know, like what if even if the Bears are decent this year, but the Packers are really good, like that. It's never nothing just works out for me, and I can't even get a win in the sports I follow. So, you know,
Hey, well, at least you can continue to enjoy Ferrari's slow slide down the grid.
yeah.
Mike, throw out like a hot take about this.
Hot take about it?
Yeah.
It's probably not a hot take, but the NFC North is like murderer's row for pass rushers now. Like Parsons, Hutchinson, Daniil Hunter.
One of these things.
And
not like the
Montez
others.
Sweat, or
Yeah. And
you were
Montez
gonna say
Sweat's a
Montez
dude.
Sweat, or
Yeah, he's a dude. He's dudish. Yeah, I do like Montez Sweat.
That's
But
Mike's second favorite defensive player with the last name Sweat in the NFL. Let's not start talking to Montez Sweat and Mike.
I'm a big Josh Mecca.
I would have traded 2 firsts in Montez Sweat for Micha Parsons.
See,
Hell, my team traded Montez Sweat for a second. I would have traded Montez Sweat that second and 2 more firsts for Micha Parsons. So I'm with you on that.
All right, so I guess a little hotter of a take is that there's no way, unless Parsons his leg falls off, there is no way for this to, in my opinion, be viewed as a bad trade. All you gave up were 2 firsts. You were never with those first round picks going to get a guy like Parsons. The chances were extremely slim.
I think my final thought on it is there's no way this trade is going to look bad for trading for perhaps the best defensive player in the league at 26 years old and only giving up a guy that no one had heard of before today and 2 firsts.
I'd heard of it.
But also, this doesn't move the needle on Super Bowl contenders because one player on a defense does not swing the NFL.
Even if it's the best defender in the NFL.
Even if it's the best defender in the NFL, doesn't swing the NFL. Too many players. If you're not a quarterback, like
Micha
5%.
Parsons is 26, which is like 4 years away from being 30. So, you know,
Yeah. If you round up, he's already 30.
If you think about it as a Bears fan, we've only got like 5 years of prime Micha Parsons to deal with, right?
This is me watching OKC with Wembanyama. I'm like, all right, there's like a 1.5 year gap. If Shea decides to retire to go raise Jokic's horses, and Wemby has like all those like a 1.5 year gap where we can really win it all.
Edwards is the best player in the NBA. Yeah.
Tyler, you got any plugs on the way out the door?
Oh man, just go hug a Bears fan.
I think you were gonna say hug a bear.
If you're a Packers fan, you can go hug a bear.
And Mike, don't plug anything because we're gonna throw to our podcast now, where I think we started off by drafting Lenora Sellers.
Okay. My last comment is, how dare Micha Parsons and the Packers do this when it was 30 minutes before the Boise State USF game was set to kick off? I was very busy, and I had to jump on
excited
here
to watch
for this.
Aston Genty.
Oh wait,
Boise State. Getting excited for it. Blue field, all that.
how would you like to be the running back following Ashton Genty at Boise State?
I'd like to be the guy editing this podcast.
All right.
On that note,
Bye. Oh wait, stick around. Don't leave.